he just didn't really have a clear choice of what to get. He's getting bits and pieces of everything. While that's perfectly fine to do if you want to, it's not effective once you start moving up the leagues. It's great to do this for your first 50 games or so if you're brand new to StarCraft. See what each one of them does, how the units work, stuff like that. But once you get... Oh, Baneling's going to die.
Yeah.
But once you get to that point, you really need to pick one or the other. Because right now he's just getting a big mix of everything. Unfortunately, that doesn't work. And
I think this is a classic example of what we were talking about at the start of the cast, Unstable, where we're talking about it's not so much of the build orders, it's not so much of the map pool, it is really coming down to your fundamental basics. And yeah, you're right, this game is pretty much over. All the harvesters are going down, you know, but it comes down to your fundamentals. You need to concentrate on either macroing up, either building an army for a fast attack, or attacking up to get some influential unit that you need. Like, for example, for Terran it would be Banshees. For Protoss it might be a High Templar, Dark Templars, or Colossus. And you need to pick one of the three ways to play StarCraft and just go out for it. So, Night Spark going for the early Roach Warren should have just made 8 Roaches and then push, force the Terran to react, and then after that macro up.
Yeah, you can do that. The more... I wouldn't say standard, but the more common way that Zergs like to play it. Fuck.
I lost your train of thought. Well, you see, the thing is Night Spark is...
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, what was I saying? I completely forgot now.
No, I was just about to say Night Spark is only on 9 harvesters, and he's continuing to make attacking units. So... Yeah, so the thing is, if you suffer a hit like that, you might as well try to get your economy slightly back up, because you know that if you're not going to get your economy back up, what the opponent could do is turtle right now, and Ian could essentially turtle right now up until 200 food and just make another push, and there's no way that Night Spark's going to be able to catch up to that. But looking at the armies tab, we do have 1,800 for Ian and only 700 by Night Spark, and yeah, just I guess waiting for one more big push by Ian, and this game should be over. But I think, as we were saying in the other cast, this game was over much longer before. What am I talking about? This game was over quite a while ago, basically, when Night Spark just couldn't decide whether he wanted to tech up for that early push or macro up. So he tried to tech up, getting that Broach Warren, and then tried to macro up by getting the hatchery, but that's not in the right order. And this is the kind of things, as you play more and more, you become more and more familiar with it, and then you settle into a particular build order, and then you're just very comfortable with it. And here comes one more push by Ian, and looking at the army size, 2,600 versus 900, and yeah, this should be it.
We can lag.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, I might have to bail because my housemate is saying I need to come and look at something. But yeah, I will find out in the next 5 minutes.
All right.
Gotta love it. But yeah,
it's like, be right back. Water coming into my house.
No, I'm actually on the Gold Coast, but
Oh, okay.
Because I just packed up and left. I was at work because I work in the middle of the CBD, and I was at work and they told us all to go home. And then I was just like, got home, no power, screw it, packed my laptop and left.
Ah.
Because power was not going to come back anytime soon.
Right.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of players can sorry for being a little harsh. I know it's every time you lose a game, you're super bummed out, and then if you're rewatching the cast, you're like, oh my god, like, how come casters are BMing me? It's not really that we wish to. It's just, I guess you take it as constructive criticism. If we point out certain things that you're doing wrong, there's a reason for that. And yeah, we just basically want everyone to have a good time and improve. And it just makes it also more enjoyable for us to cast.
Yeah. Well, it's not that we're not trying to be nice. Like, would you rather us give you a 10-minute speech on being nice about how you just fucked up one thing, or should we just say you fucked up this? Like, it's not... I say it to Glade all the time too when I watch his replays. I'm like, you're an idiot. Why didn't you do this? And just because like you did a mistake doesn't mean it's a bad thing. Like you learn more from failure than success. And the hardest part for the bronze, silver, and gold guys is to understand where they went wrong. And to have a quick, simple answer of someone coming in and going, this is what you did wrong. For that perfect game example, it was he didn't have his overlord over there to sack, so he didn't know what was coming, therefore he couldn't react accordingly, and it just went downhill from there. That was the one thing of that entire game that I would say fix.
Basically. Well,
and work from there. Don't worry about, like, if someone gives you a big essay of you could have done this, ignore everything but the first point, and the next game work on the first point. And once you got that down pat, go to the second point.
Absolutely.
Don't worry about too much stuff.
Yeah, but whoa, and my camera's just going absolutely mad. But let's go into the intro, and we're going to start this game up. All right, and we are back. This is Phoenix, and I'm joined by my very good co-host, FXOUnstable, and this is round of 64, and it's gonna be Pav against Goatee here in the 6 o'clock position. It's gonna be red versus green, Terran versus Terran, and right now it's a mirror build, single supply depot and a barracks at the choke. And what do you think of this play, Unstable? This looks like it's a TVZ. I don't know if they really should be building the buildings up here in the ramp. I mean, it's two schools of thought. What do you think?
Well, there's two ways to look at it. One is, yes, you can stop people running past your ramp easier. Okay, that's worth it. And then on the other hand, you've got the chance of people picking off your supply depots up front. My advice to bronze, silver, and gold: don't worry about placement of your shit. Just build it. Make sure it's built. Like, honestly.
Well,
you're just going to confuse yourself if you don't understand the basics behind building placement. Don't confuse yourself. That's like a more mid-diamond to high diamond kind of thought process. Unless you're walling off to stop Zerglings running in your base, then you have to worry about it.
Precisely.
But other than that, don't worry about it. Don't confuse yourself with advanced tactics. Like, this is... Oh, I'm going to bash Team Liquid over here a bit, but the strategy forum for Team Liquid is probably the worst place to read stuff about right now, because you'll have people giving so many different forms of advice. You'll be pulled left, right, and center, and you won't get a straight up and down answer, which is probably the one thing you need. And there is no perfect way to play StarCraft yet. Yes, there are ways that are more effective, but the game's only, 6, maximum 9 months old now. Brood War is around 9 years before muta stacking was ever invented, and that had been in the game since the very beginning. So, don't worry about that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I'm just gonna mirror Unstable for that. Like, if you guys are tuning in, I mean, the basics of it is you're just going to learn your basic build orders, basically know what are the important things to do, and then just do it, just practice it. And I mean, right now, it does look like these two have actually pretty solid build orders, and it does look like they have practiced it. It looks like to be a marine tank push here out by Pav, and he's just going to, because this build is relatively weak in the beginning, to early pressure, he has got a defensive bunker up. But on the other camp, in Goatee's camp, he's actually going pure bio, and he's actually got his engineering base really, really early. So we might actually see, once he gets 100 gas to start his one attack, yeah, there we go, the one attack is going to... be started, and it does look, I would look forward to a one attack push by him as soon as that is completed.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, it's going to be a 1-1-1 by Pav. He is getting a starport, and that's right. This is a TVP, so TVT. So the main meta game in TVT is you really want to get a lot of tank Viking, because if you have Tank Viking and you wanted to beat that with something else other than Tank Viking, it's really, really, really difficult, especially if you're going pure bio. So it does look that he is going to, yeah, there we go. We do see a reactor coming down in the starport, and it does look like Pov is going to open up with Tank Viking, and it's going to be up to Goatee to see if he can make an early push and crush him before he gets too many tanks or Vikings.
So I'm just going to point out, Scroll, I'm talking about StarCraft 1 when I'm talking about muta stacking, dude. It's actually counterproductive in TVZ in StarCraft 2. So don't worry about that too badly.
That's true. Well, only because there's quite a few things that have splash. Well, mainly the Thor. So if you stack your mutas, then yeah, you're screwed. It's also because the muta stacking in StarCraft 1 was abusing the older engine of basically attacking the first unit that comes in range rather than attacking the weakest unit or the unit with the most threat. And actually, this very, very good scouting SCV by Pov is going to see the bio move out. And actually, the bunker was just salvaged. But right now, with Pov having 2 tanks, he should be just fine. He has even Vikings to spot for his tanks. And I guess it's just going to come down to placement of Goatee's units. Ooh.
Well, that's all TVT is, really. Like, when you boil it down, it's all about placement. That's a mistake right there. Don't fight up a ramp. Never ever fight up a ramp. Unless you're like super, super confident. But yeah.
Well, you see, that's the thing. I would have to give... Goatee actually had a really strong chance to break that and end the game right there. But the problem was he only has stim halfway done. And he moved out as soon as his +1 finished, but he didn't have stim. If he had stimmed... When he was here, if he had stimmed and went basically point blank next to this tank has 8 kills, man. So if he was able to kill that tank right now, all Pov would have is actually just 2 Vikings, and the game was done right there. So again, it's the little things when you are in Bronze, Silver, Gold that when you're making these pushes, just remember, like, okay, if I want to make a push, do I have the gas to, get +1? Do I have the gas to get stim? Okay, when they're done, let's push. So he got +1, but he should have just, I guess, waited maybe 30 more seconds for stim, and then that would have been just so much more effective. Because it's not as if he didn't have the money for stim. He already had stim. He just pushed out just 30 seconds too early.
Yeah.
So, I mean...
And I do apologize, but I'm going to have to bail, man.
Yeah, booked.
Well, fucking...
Unstable, my rows are fine.
Alright. Alright, so Unstable has to go. We are going to see a push out here by Pov. The thing is in TVP, what you want to have is a very nice set of tank Viking. And you want to have at least about 4 tanks, because you want to put 2 tanks here, and then 2 tanks in front, and then you leapfrog your tanks forward. Now, 3 tanks are going to be able to one-shot a Marauder, which is the ideal number that you want to get. So you want to get 6 tanks when you push out. But right now, because he was able to kill the early bio unit by Pov, he is going to come here. I don't think he's going to make a push out, but he is going to set up a contain and use the Vikings to spot for his tanks. Right now, he does have 3 tanks, so this is the ideal thing. He shouldn't be moving his tanks forward. Right now, there is a stim, but he should stim and move forward. Right now, the units are all clustered and taking massive amounts of splash damage. There he is. He's finally moving forward, but it's a little bit late, and he does lose the majority of his bio units. The Vikings are also landing and actually able to clean this up, and the contain by Pov is still there. Looking at the harvester count, Goatee is actually ahead 6 harvesters, so he might be able to very quickly remake his army, but right now this tank needs to come about here and then use the Vikings to get free shots. The spot for the tank, so he can get free shots on these supply depots. But looking at the production tab, we do see more tanks and Marines coming out by Pov, and more bio coming out by Goatee. But because of this unit mixture, I'm going to have to give the benefit of the doubt to Goatee. To Pov, because he just simply has the better unit composition. Ooh. Alright, and Unstable does drop out of the call. That's pretty cool. Thanks, Unstable, for sticking in, man. Appreciate it. And here we go once again. Being too clumped up, and these tanks are getting free shells on these units, actually focusing down the Marines and not the tanks. And I would say once again, if you are in Bronze, Silver, Gold, let's look on the hotkeys right now. Actually, Pov doesn't even have any hotkeys, so That's okay. But what if you're in goatee shoes? You really should have it all on a hotkey such that you can select. So if units like that pop out and they